Hello everyone and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 news report. We're going to start off with something from Alan Myers. Everton are interested in signing Leicester City forward PATSON DAKA. This one's a bit of an interesting one. So I think it was around 66% of fans said they would take DAKA on the poll, and he's an interesting player. Signed for Leicester around, I think, 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago, and it hasn't really been a massive success for him. He's not really got much playing time behind Iheanacho and Vardy. And at the same time, I think the season he joined was the season Vardy got like 20 odd goals. And, Vardy didn't look like he was going to slow down. And it seems like there was much more faith in someone like Iheanacho. But, if you look at DAKA in his last two seasons in Austria, especially, in both seasons, got over 30 goal contributions. I know Austria is a hard league to judge off, but his time as Leicester, it's been... Oh, he's only made 13 starts in both seasons, but he's still got 8 goal contributions both seasons. In a role that, spent majority. I don't know if I can get like his exact minutes per game or anything crazy like that, but... he wasn't really playing much football to begin with, really. And if he was playing, he was only playing because of injuries or bad form. And he showed that there's potential there in a play. I think with someone like DAKA, we need a striker. And if the fee's decently cheap, again, I really don't see why we don't go in for someone like DAKA. It very much obviously depends on the price tag, but I think it's one of those where if the price tag's right, I wouldn't be against having DAKA at all. I think he's got a great turn of pace, which I think is something Everton desperately need. He's really quick. He's decently tall. He's not the best in the air, though, so it's really hard to get a judge on him because, I know people instantly assume tall equals good in the air. His aerial wins for a striker are really good. He's a hard worker too. His defensive numbers for a striker are through the roof. And, of course, for a Sean Dyche system, that's going to be favoured if he's going to get back and actually try to defend as well. And with that great turn of pace, it'll give us something on the counter-attack that I really do think we lack with the amount of pace in this squad. So again, I think it'd be a good signing, all depending on the price. Moving on, Everton are plotting a move for Chelsea defender Trevor Chalobah with West Ham and Crystal Palace also interested. This comes from Pete O'Rourke. And again, this one would be great. I think Chalobah's a really good player. I think he's shown for Chelsea and the way he burst into the team over some other players that he really has potential to be a top-level centre-back. He got less games anyway last season. And I think it seems like, he kind of got faded out of the squad with players like Wesley Fofana coming in. And I don't think he was ever really intended to be a permanent member of the first team squad. He's already played a game for Chelsea's B team. Or last season, sorry, he was playing games for Chelsea's B team. He started 18 games, 25. I can imagine Chelsea are going to want to possibly cash in now or take another loan, depending on the price, of course. West Ham are interested in another defender that we'll talk about soon as well. And with Crystal Palace having both Anderson and Gueye, if Gueye and Anderson stay, Chalobah may consider Everton because it's a guaranteed start, really. At Crystal Palace, it's not really guaranteed. It's all dependent on form, to be completely honest with you. So, again, another really good move. Really comfortable with the ball at his feet, which would be something great for this team. Gives us an ability to actually retain some possession. Good with the ball at his feet, can travel forward. Can play defensive midfield to a versatile player and a really smart defender. I think this would be, I'm not trying to say the same stuff as I said the first time, of course, but just talk about a defender. But I think, again, this would be some really smart business and something I think that it'd be good if the club did, got him in, especially if we could get him in on cheap loan, because I can imagine they'll want around 20 to 30 million to buy him permanently. And I think in the position we're at, buying a centre-back for that much is definitely a no-go. Around 76% of fans on Twitter also said they agreed. According to the Mail, we have asked about Southampton striker Jay Adams, and we'd like PATSON DAKA on loan, while Leicester would prefer a permanent deal. Again, Che Adams is under a similar line. I think for the right fee, I'm not against it. He's going to be a number 2 behind Calvert-Lewin. If they're going to play in front 2 together, I think it would work quite well. Che Adams is one we spoke about on the channel before, and I think I'd be a bit less optimistic about him than DAKA anyway. I think DAKA's got a lot more potential and has more room to grow as a striker compared to someone like Adams. I think Adams has hit a ceiling, really, and he isn't going to get much better than he is now. So it's kind of difficult to just babble on more about Adams, but I think it'd be a decent signing for the right price. I think players like him, Iheanacho, DAKA, some of these relegated strikers are all in that bracket where if they go for a decent price range, then I don't see why the club wouldn't go in for them. Because, again, I think it'd just be a really good bit of business from the club to get them on the cheap. We are also looking to rekindle our interest in Kamaldeen Sulemana, who we wanted in January. This comes from Shamoon Hafez on Twitter. Again, I don't know about Sulemana. He was absolutely dreadful for Southampton in the time he played for them. 2 goals and 1 assist in the 18 appearances that he made. He had some bright spots, don't get me wrong. He had some moments where he looked like a good player, but it looked like didn't really. Southampton was a sinking ship, I guess, and I guess there is the benefit of the doubt in that he is a direct player who'll try to get forward. He gets a lot of shots off. So he's one of those where there is advantages there. He has 3.52 successful take-ons a game, which, someone who dribbles like that's in the top 1% of all wingers in Europe. So someone who's that, progressive with the ball, likes to take it forward, likes to beat a man, it would benefit the squad. So I don't know what to think about it really, because I don't know if the end product's there. I don't know if it is Southampton being a sinking ship that caused the problem. But I think it'd be for a cheap loan again. I think it'd be a good bit of business. But I could see other teams coming in for a permanent deal and costing us. Here it is. Shamoon Hafez also says that we are reportedly interested in Harry Maguire, but it's wide off the mark due to significant costs involved. I believe West Ham had 30 million turned down. Again, I don't think that's worth it for Harry. I think Harry Maguire is probably at that level of centre back where he should be worth that money, but with his age, I think he'd really fit under a Sean Dyche system as well. But we don't have the money to be spending 30 million on a centre back. I think ability wise, and I even think if Man United accepted that, it'd be a good deal for West Ham. I think he is that level of centre back. I think he is around the top 6 level centre back. I just think he's got very unfortunate with his time at Man United. I think a lot of the mistakes have been his issue as well. But I think again, he's a progressive defender. He's shown it for England. He's willing to travel with the ball at his feet. Again, it's just that lack of pace that gets him caught in that Man United high line, and it's difficult if you haven't really got the legs for it to play a high line. If you haven't got the pace, I think it's Colin Miller is the next one. Is Everton are considering a move for Harry Maguire, while Manchester United are interested in signing Onana. Maybe Man United try to use Harry Maguire as a make weight to try to get Onana in, but again, I think the club should be looking for big money for Onana. Even if Onana wants to move, we should be looking at that realistically to be getting that done as soon as possible. We should be getting that done as soon as possible, as late as possible. We don't really want to be getting rid of someone like Onana unless there's an immediate replacement in mind from the club. So again, unless we can get huge money, I'd be very surprised if Onana moves this window, to be honest. I think also it's announced that Chimurti, I can't pronounce his name, from Sporting should be announced soon. He may even be announced now. To be honest, I haven't been on Twitter all day, so I actually don't know if he's even been announced, but that's either imminent to this going out or has happened already. But yeah, again, we've spoke about him at mass at this point. Talented young player, looks like he's got some potential about him, decently cheap fee. It hasn't been announced yet, thankfully, so there you go. So Chimurti should be announced at any point soon, realistically, looking at it. And then we go into a bit of move about Reece Welch, who's completed close to completing a loan move to Forest Green. That comes from Paddy Boylan. Welch has got a lot of potential, and it looks like a lot of people around the club rate him. So I think he does need this loan move. Forest Green, I think, have just been relegated back to League Two, so it'll be a good level. But again, I think I don't think he's decently young where this could be a really good season for him. And if he has a really good few months, we could recall him and maybe give him a higher level challenge for the last 6 months of the season. But yeah, it's a good move for Reece. And then ending it on Dele Alli. He's back in training with Everton, but he has a setback with injury, so it'll be a few more weeks until he's ready. Like Sean Dyche said, don't expect Dele Alli to be immediately brought back into the squad. Hopefully, like I said, all the best for Dele Alli, and hopefully he can prove a lot of people wrong this season with Everton. The ability's still there, the passion's there, according to him. So again, hopefully in a few weeks' time, there's been enough saying in training and enough from both sides that Sean Dyche is willing to give Dele Alli a chance and maybe even help with the attacking situation that's at the club right now. We desperately need goals, and if he can bring them, then no one's really going to complain. But if you did enjoy that video, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed and follow me on Twitter at Callum Brannan3. Thank you all for watching the video. We'll see you for the next live stream or news video. Goodbye, everyone.